You begin to crave depth, meaning, alignment. You're no longer content with surface living. You want your inside to match your outside. You want peace that isn't performative. Healing that isn't just coping. This is the sacred threshold. The place where shadow meets light. Where you no longer avoid the darker corners, but turn toward them with compassion. And when that moment comes, when you're ready to go deeper, you don't have to walk alone. In the next hour, Rosa Delgado will guide you. She carries the light of shadow work. She knows the language of what you've buried. And she'll help you meet it, not with shame, but with grace. Take a breath. You've come so far. Now, it's time to go even deeper. You made it through the night's first hour. That is not a small thing. That is a victory, no matter how quiet. Now I want to invite you slowly into a space where truth can speak, where your body can be heard, where your past is not a burden, but a story we'll hold together. You are safe to begin. You are safe to feel. You are safe to say, I'm not okay. There is no performance required here. No need to impress. No pressure to heal on anyone else's timeline. In this hour, we do not rush pain. We honor it. We make room for it. We listen deeply and with dignity. I am not here to fix you. I am here to witness you. And that witnessing, that sacred attention, is how healing begins. So breathe. Let your guard loosen just enough. Let the tightness speak. Let the silence echo with something honest. You are here, and that is enough for now. Some of us learned to hide our hurt like it was something shameful, as if wounds made us weak, as if showing pain was failure. But I need you to hear this. There is no shame in the wound. There is only evidence that you have survived. The scars we carry, seen and unseen, are stories of endurance, stories of moments that tried to unmake us, but didn't. So if part of you still hides the ache, still flinches at your own softness, still apologizes for needing time, let that part rest now. Tell it gently. You are no longer alone in this. This is the work of our hour. So, to return what was buried, to release what was silenced, to begin the sacred, slow rebuild. There is no shame in what you've carried, and there is no shame in finally laying it down. Your body is wise, even if you learn to doubt it, even if you were taught to silence it. Your body remembers. It remembers what your mind tried to forget. The tension that never got released. The fear that was swallowed. The tears you held back because no one was there to catch them. Sometimes the ache has no words because the memory lives beneath them, in the muscles, in the breath, in the pulse beneath your skin. This is not weakness. This is not failure. This is biology. This is survival. Let's honor that. Let's breathe where the pain lives. Let's bring warmth to the frozen places. Let's befriend the body again. You don't have to understand everything at once. You only need to listen, to offer your body the kindness it never received. That too is healing. Sometimes we find ourselves overreacting and we don't know why. A voice raises and we flinch. A look lingers and we shut down. A tone shifts and suddenly we're no longer in the room. We're back in the moment we never processed. That's not crazy. That's not weakness. That's your nervous system doing what it was trained to do. When we weren't safe, our minds adapted. They learned to spot danger, even in silence, even in stillness, especially in stillness. So now, years later, your body still scans for threat, still reacts before you have words, still tries to protect you, even when you're no longer in harm's way. That is not your fault. That is not brokenness. That is brilliance. But brilliance that no longer serves. We are here to retrain that brilliance, not to shame it, not to punish it, but to offer it a new message. I'm safe now. I don't need to run. I can stay. And staying in your body, in this breath, in this moment, is where the healing lives. Somewhere along the way, you learned that strength meant silence, that asking for help was weakness, that if you were hurting, you had to hide it. But I want you to hear something ancient, something sacred, something passed down long before pain became private. You were not meant to carry this alone. Not the grief, not the fear, not the shame. In every culture rooted in community, healing was not a solo act. It happened in circles, in song, in story, in shared tears and collective breath. So, if you've been suffering in silence, I honor that survival. But I also invite you now to unlearn it, to reach, to speak, to let even one other voice echo back to you. I hear you. You matter. You don't have to do this alone. The wound may have happened in isolation, but the healing happens together. There's a version of you, younger, quieter, smaller, that still waits to be heard. They live in your memories, in your habits, in your reaction to love, to loss, to rejection. They are not frozen in time to haunt you. They are there to be met, to be held, to be reparented with the gentleness they didn't receive. What did you need to hear back then? What did you crave from the people who couldn't give it? What moments left you questioning your worth? Say those words now. To them. To yourself. I see you. I'm sorry they didn't protect you. You didn't deserve that. You matter to me. This is the slow repair, the sacred return, the healing of time not through forgetting, but through finally listening. Grief does not keep a schedule. It does not honor the calendar. It does not move in straight lines. Grief loops. It returns without warning. It softens, then swells. It disappears, only to resurface on the smell of a song, or the silence in a room that used to hold someone. You are not failing because it still hurts. You are not weak because you cried again today. You are not broken because time has passed and the ache has not. This is the truth many don't speak. Grief is love with nowhere to go. And love, true love, doesn't vanish. It transforms. Let it be what it needs to be today. Let the memory rise without shame. Let your heart speak without rushing to silence it. You are not behind. You are grieving. And that is sacred work. We were taught that anger is dangerous, that it should be buried, that it means we're out of control. But sometimes anger is the truth rising. Sometimes anger is the body saying something was not right. Sometimes anger is what protects the parts of us that were silenced. You don't have to fear it. You don't have to suppress it. You only need to sit with it and listen to what it's guarding. What boundary was crossed? What injustice still echoes? What truth did you swallow because no one could hold it? We hold anger not to explode, but to understand, to trace it back to the wound, to learn what needs to be honored, protected, and spoken aloud. Anger, when met with compassion, can become clarity. It can become movement. It can become freedom. There is a pressure, sometimes silent, to explain your pain, to make it palatable, to justify the ways you've changed. But you don't owe anyone the details of your survival, not the ones who hurt you, not the ones who abandoned you, not even the ones who claim to love you now. Your healing is not a performance. Your trauma is not a teaching moment for others. Your scars are not public property. You get to choose who hears your story, who deserves access, who has earned the sacred honor of your truth. Let this be a boundary you bless yourself with. My healing is mine. My peace is not up for debate. My survival needs no explanation. There are truths you carry now that only pain could teach. Not because pain is noble, but because the world failed to offer gentler teachers. You learned that silence can scream louder than words, that absence can shape a life, that betrayal can arrive with a smile. These are not lessons anyone should have to learn, but you learned them, and you lived, and you are still becoming. So now, you get to choose how those lessons shape you. Will you carry them as chains or as compass points? Will they harden your heart or deepen your discernment? The pain is real. The lesson is real. But so is your power to rewrite what comes next. There's a quiet fear many of us carry, a whisper in the back of the mind that says, if I show up fully, I'll be too much. If I ask for help, I'll be a burden. That fear didn't start with you. It came from moments when your needs were met with irritation, when your cries were dismissed, when your presence was treated as an inconvenience. But hear me clearly. You are not a burden. Yea, your pain is not too heavy. Your healing is not too slow. Your presence is not too much. In this hour, I want you to practice receiving, not fixing, not proving, just receiving. Let your breath soften. Let the old messages unravel. Let this space hold you gently without condition. You deserve to be met with compassion, not just in moments of strength, but especially in moments of need. Healing is not just emotional, it is neurological. It is the slow, sacred task of rewiring. For years, maybe decades, your brain followed certain pathways, reflexes born from trauma, responses designed for protection. And now, you're asking those patterns to change, to trust, to stay present, to soften. That takes time. It takes gentleness. It takes repetition. And it takes patience, especially when you feel like nothing is changing. Every breath you take in safety, every time you pause before reacting, every small moment of awareness is proof that rewiring is happening. You're not just surviving now. You're rebuilding. You're choosing new roads. And that is no small miracle. Right now, you might be in between. Not where you used to be, but not quite where you hope to be. This is the tension of becoming. This is the space where healing takes its time. And I want to give you this permission to be exactly where you are. You don't need to rush the process. You don't need to force clarity. You don't need to have it all together. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to be unsure. You're allowed to have days where all you do is breathe. There is no finish line in healing, no badge for how quickly you transform. This isn't a competition. It's a coming home. So if today feels messy, If your progress looks quiet or invisible, know this: it still counts. You still count. Where you are is not a problem to fix. It's a place to hold with compassion. Your body remembers pain, but it can also remember peace. It can learn what safety feels like. Let's practice that now. So you gently place one hand over your heart. Feel the warmth, the weight, the reminder that you are here. Now breathe in slowly. 4 counts in. Hold. 4 counts out. Again. With each breath, whisper to yourself, I am safe. I am allowed to slow down. I am welcome in this moment. Notice any tension in your jaw, your shoulders, your chest. Invite it to soften, not forcefully, but with kindness. The body that once braced for harm can learn to receive gentleness, can become a place you return to, not run from. This is what we're doing here. Reclaiming the body, restoring trust, becoming whole, one breath at a time. Sometimes what we needed most was not a solution, not advice, not a fix. We needed to be seen, to be witnessed in our pain, to have someone look at our wounds and not turn away. Healing begins when we stop hiding, when we say out loud, this hurt me, and someone says back, I believe you. If you never had that, if your pain was dismissed, denied, or minimized, let this be the beginning. I see you. I believe you. What you went through matters, and it was not your fault. There is no shame in your story. There is only the truth of survival and the quiet courage it takes to speak again. You are not just one thing. You are joy and sorrow, hope and doubt, strength and softness. The world may try to reduce you, to fit you into categories, but your healing asks for something deeper, to honor every part of you, to hold space for your contradictions, to know that being human is not a performance of perfection, but a dance of complexity. You can be healing and still hurting. You can love someone and still need distance. You can forgive and still set boundaries. Let this be your permission. You are allowed to be many things at once. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to not have all the answers. What matters is that you stay honest, that you stay curious, that you keep showing up exactly as you are. Somewhere deep inside you, there is a younger version of you still waiting, waiting to be heard, waiting to be held. waiting for someone to say, "You didn't deserve that." The child who was blamed for adult pain. The child who had to grow up too fast. The child who was told their needs were too much. That child still lives in you. And though they've learned to survive, they're still hoping for safety, for gentleness, for care. Today, you have the power to offer that, to become the parent, the guide, the protector they needed. You can speak to them now. I am sorry they didn't see you. I see you now. I will not abandon you. This is not regression. This is reclamation. This is what it means to reparent. To give yourself the nurture you were denied. The things that happened to you. The things that were said. The ways you were treated. They left an imprint. But they do not define you. They are chapters in your story, not the entire book. You may carry wounds. You may carry habits born of survival. But you also carry wisdom and creativity and a longing to live in wholeness. You are not the pain that shaped you. You are the soul that endured, the spirit that kept showing up, the heart that still chooses healing, one day at a time. Let today be a declaration. I am not what they did. I am not what they called me. I am not who I had to become to survive. I am becoming who I was always meant to be. There is power in giving something a name, because what is named can be faced. What is named can be healed. Too often we speak around the truth. We say, "I'm fine," when we mean I'm falling apart. We say, "I'm tired," when we mean I'm in pain. We minimize, we hide, we protect. But healing requires honesty. It invites us to say, I am grieving. I am angry. I am scared. I don't know how to move forward. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of life. They are sacred confessions, and they deserve safe spaces. Today, give yourself permission to name your truth, even if it's messy, even if it changes tomorrow, even if you whisper it only to yourself.